Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to give you all a little bit of an update on my occupational therapy and physical therapy, as well as my shoulder brace, which as you can see, I am not currently wearing. So yesterday I had occupational therapy and physical therapy. Yesterday was my only session of occupational therapy for this week. And as far as physical therapy, I have physical therapy tomorrow afternoon, but like I said, I only had occupational therapy once this week because they scheduled me for 3 days in a row. And due to the fact that I can't drive, I canceled today's occupational therapy session because I don't think it's fair for the person bringing me to have to go 3 days in a row. To like have to leave work and bring me there 3 days in a row. So the whole reason why I'm not wearing my shoulder brace is because my occupational therapist and my physical therapist have been talking, and they feel like it's not a good idea for me to wear the brace, especially as much as I had been wearing it. They had already told me to only wear it like every other day or every couple of days. And when I did wear it, they wanted me to only wear it for like half the day because they felt like my shoulder joint was getting too stiff, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but they did tape my shoulder with KT tape yesterday. And I'm not sure if they're going to retape it tomorrow at physical therapy, but I'm going to take the tape off this afternoon or this evening when it is time for me to take my shower, because it's not safe for me to take my shower without anybody else here. So plus I need help to get into the shower. So I have to wait. That's why I said this afternoon or this evening. But this actually felt really good. It supported me last night. It does feel supportive, but just not as supportive as the brace. And I think I had talked about like the whole reasons for using an orthotic brace and all of that stuff, worrying about subluxations and just the heaviness of the arm. I am making more progress. I have gotten a little bit more function back. We had used a TENS unit and I was able to get function, like I'm able to move all of my fingers on my right hand, even if it's just a little bit. So that is super exciting. I have also continued to use my little hedgehog stress ball, and it's super exciting that, I now have this function in my hand. So at occupational therapy, I just want to say, like, it's super cool to have an occupational therapist who gets so excited by every little bit of function that I regain, because it definitely helps me be more excited about everything that's going on. My physical therapist is also very excited. I did not work with my physical therapist yesterday. I worked with a physical therapy assistant. So yesterday was my first time working with her. And she seemed to be very knowledgeable about kind of my situation, and her and my physical therapist obviously talked about like the plans that he has for me and everything else. So I think that that's very helpful as well, because I definitely think it's a good idea for people to communicate. And I feel like that is something that lacked a little bit when I was in inpatient rehab, is like the turnover between different physical therapists and physical therapy assistants. There wasn't always a smooth communication going on. So I definitely feel like it's helpful to have that communication there. But yeah, I definitely am excited to see what more progress I'm able to make, because I would love to be out of this wheelchair. I would love to be able to take a shower by myself. I would love to be able to make enough progress. At physical therapy yesterday, we practiced standing unsupported. She did have to block my knee on my right side a little bit because I told her I felt like it was a little wobbly. We couldn't find like a better word for wobbly, but it felt unstable. I guess that's a better word. Unstable. Like it felt like it was going to go out from underneath me, because she had my feet placed in a way that made more weight go through the right leg. because I noticed that I was putting more weight on the left side, which is my stronger side. And she said it's normal for people to do that, but she placed my feet in a way where it forced more weight to go through the right side. And so I felt shaky and like not so confident when she did that. So she did have to block my knee at one point just to make sure that it wasn't going to go out from underneath me. And she told me, to just sit down when I was ready to sit down. And, I didn't have to wait for her to tell me that I needed to sit down. So definitely some good stuff going on there. And I'm excited for when I'm able to use the treadmill with the unweighting system. So it's basically like what I did in inpatient rehab, where they have you in a harness and you're using the treadmill. I'm not sure how that's going to work, like if I can't lift up my right leg, because I can wiggle my toes, but I can't like lift up my foot off of the floor, and I can't pick up my leg. Like I can't do a normal walking motion. So I don't know if the physical therapy assistant that I worked with yesterday is going to like make that walking motion with my right leg, or if she is going to want me to be progressed to the point where I'm able to do that myself. Because I think if we are waiting for that, it might be a while before I can get to that point. If I'm able to get to that point at all. I'm trying to stay very positive, but I'm also trying not to get myself too hyped up or excited about the progress that I'm making, because I don't want to disappoint myself, if that makes sense. So that's why I kind of go back and forth between saying if I get there at all, things like that, because I don't want to disappoint myself and get really excited about potentials and not make it to that potential spot, if that makes sense. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. And yeah, that's all I have for today's video. So I will talk to you guys in my next one.